So the idea for this whole program started back at the beginning of this year, beginning of 2022, when our new president, Jeff Hamilton, posed a question to me and saying, Vince, as part of your last year prior to retirement, would you be willing to take on a special project? Maybe something that draws on your experience, something that you could leave behind, for the benefit of the company. We chose the Strand. It's a beautiful building. Kyle Westberg and his brother Brett, they made a big investment in downtown Pontiac, as did Flagstar Bank, and we want to honor that too. So we're very proud to be in Pontiac. We appreciate all the support that we have received from the community, and that's why we're here. The reach that we can achieve through the live stream really started with the idea that we wanted to reach out to college and university campuses. We wanted to be able to reach Michigan Tech, Northern Michigan, and UP. For all of us, as we encounter challenges in business, and we will, they'll always be there. But by looking ahead and anticipating what some of those challenges are so we can take advantage of them, I think is a great way to approach things. It helps us, be optimistic that problems will come about. We can look, in the past, how we're able to meet those challenges and know that we'll take care of those ones in the future. So one of the most important things is this program does not end today. We want people to take away the thoughts. We want them to have conversations. We want them to share it with others so that they can talk about what this next 30 years is going to bring. So I see ALC, being an important part of the community, of the construction industry, and that it will continue to serve clients with a focus on customer service and also a focus on its employees. The people that are putting the work in place, that there are so many aspects to this business that I hope they'll take away from that. This program, when they look at, for us, looking at the future of construction in 30 years, we know that we don't stand alone. It involves these various subjects that will be talked about today.
The Strand Theater, well, it's in the heart of Pontiac downtown. Our office is walking distance from here, and we consider Pontiac home to ALC. It's a beautiful building. The architecture is amazing, and being a constructor, I can't be more proud to be doing this event in a place like this. We're having presentations on the future of really the construction industry, along with other industries, and basically what the world's going to look like in 30 years. And it's exciting and a wonderful opportunity for people to think about the future vision of where things could be in 2052. I thought it'd be nice to have a special project to kind of leave Vince's legacy part of that. And I knew his passion for educating others and learning. He's a great learner. He reads tons of books and very much into history. So when we talked about 30 years ago, where were we? We thought, well, where would it be 30 years from now? So it was a kind of a special project that I put on Vince to see where he would take this, and it has been tremendous, the dedication and commitment that Vince has done and given to this, along with other staff members at our firm, and then the speakers that are going to be presenting today. I can't say enough for how Vince has taken this challenge on head first, and just unbelievable what he's doing. Communication is the key to success in almost anything in life, and in this forum we're able to be personal and communicate, and it's not just about sitting in front of a computer screen. It's body language, it's how you describe things, it's your passion, your excitement for being involved in a program like this. In 2052, I see ALC as a company of a bunch of young people striving and growing into successful leaders. I see ALC as someone that's going to grow organically and also grow in sophistication and efficiency and effectiveness. What I would like for students to realize is the opportunities are endless in the construction industry. It is amazing what you can accomplish if you put your mind to it, and your heart and your passion. Welcome to 6 Glimpses of 2052.
So I think the program today for a student is going to give a tremendous background of where the industry was, not just a student of architecture, student of construction. Overall, all of these things that were touched on impact every industry. So I would say it's a good start to see where we are and then where the thought leaders see things going. So I would encourage it to be viewed by anybody that's a student of life. One of the topics that really intrigued me, and it was actually something I had written down, and it was, I think it was Dan's take on the climate migration. I've never understood the loss of population in the state of Michigan with all the resources we have, with the fresh water, with the climate. Sure, we're cold, but you don't see the terrible climate issues impacting us and you do other parts of the country. And I think it's something we as a Midwest, we don't capitalize on enough, stating that we're a great place to live. We have great rivers, streams, lakes, and we don't have hurricanes in those. So that was one of the takeaways that I had from an area of what we can do to attract people to our state.
My takeaway from this program is that it was very impressive. I thought all the presenters did great and kind of opened our eyes to what the future has to hold for us. I think my number one takeaway is probably just how great the company Elk is to work for, and put this program together, with the intent of sharing it with the employees and how much Vince, to kind of demonstrate how much Vince cares about the future constructors here at Elk and the future constructors that will eventually join Elk. I would absolutely recommend that people in our industry watch this program. I would recommend it to really anybody. It was started as a construction-focused program, I think, but it really morphed into something more where it's good for everybody to think about where they fit in and the question about where do you see yourself in 30 years. I think the biggest challenges for Elk moving into 2052 and for all businesses is embracing technology. I think construction historically is you got to put the work in place with your hands, you got to be in person. I think that there's a lot of technologies out there that need to be embraced, help us grow. And we heard today that if you don't embrace those, you'll fall behind.
Absolutely, I would recommend students and people who are interested in this industry watch this program. It's going to give you a context of all these of the speakers who have this wealth of knowledge of 30 plus years of being in the business in their profession. One of the biggest challenges our industry has always had in moving into the future and moving into what these people were talking about moving into 2052 is the acceptance of new technology. It is getting much better, but early on, people thought, well, you still have to do it the way that it was always done because it's tried, true, and there. We are now becoming much more accepting of technology. Artificial intelligence will be a big player. People have to be ready to adapt.
Going through today's program, one of my biggest takeaways that I have to say is understanding from all the different aspects of not only construction, but just on economics, education, and labor markets is how it's going to potentially change and how we have to be prepared to accept those different types of workforces and the different demographics with all the different backgrounds that could be coming into the construction industry.
The takeaway I got was really looking at how Michigan is really going to stay up with the economy of the nation. In other words, how do we draw young people, our educational programs, and industry? What are the new things we might be bringing in, and where will that lead us to 2052?
Through today's program, listening to all the speakers, I would highly recommend anybody going into the field of construction or currently in the field of construction to watch this. It brings in different dynamics, different information, different ways to how we can see the future and grow into the future, which would help you accelerate and further your career or get your interest in the construction industry.
I think it was a good program. It definitely, from my perspective, brought different avenues to look at, from education to the agency itself.
I think one of the biggest challenges moving forward towards 2052 or in the construction industry are really going to be about how do we retain people, how do we grow our workforce, and not only competing with artificial intelligence, but new products, new things, but we have to educate them away that they will stay in the industry, stay in Michigan, and continue to move and advance our industry.
I think our challenge would be to work on communication, our skills, and how we gonna do it in the future.
It was good to see that a lot of the things that I'm looking for in construction, a lot of the technology that's out there, in theory, coming from these experts is actually getting applied. A lot of the other ideas across economics and finance and culture, entertainment. I would recommend this program to any university. It just gets you really excited about the future. Whatever it could be with their engineering schools, it could be with their computer science, or anything. Get your own experts together and have them speak to everybody in the industry. The old people, the young people, and bridge that gap. So I was really surprised to see how fast a lot of this technology is in construction, where you got autonomous robots that can do a lot of the heavy earth moving and how much big data is already in there. Towards the end of the panel, when they're talking about kind of wearables for construction and tracking kind of material flow in and out. The biggest challenge in construction is going to be, one, embracing the change, and two, making sure that you don't embrace it too much.
I see myself 2052, hopefully retired. That'll be the tail end of my career. So, yeah, just everything works out. Hopefully, I'll be on the backside of it, looking in and helping the next generation. In the construction industry, I think the biggest challenges will be always labor, but not letting the tools get in the way of the actual final quality product. You heard a lot about technology, and I still look at it as a tool. At the end of the day, we still got to put quality into the product, and I just think those relationships are always going to be a big part of it. And the individual labor force of the person himself.
Well, there were so many takeaways. I mean, it got more exciting as the speakers went on. And I think I started to think about artificial intelligence a lot more than I ever have. And just the possibilities that brings. Because I did work in design for a while. And so the hardest thing for people to do is to visualize space. And so when it's designed, for them to see it on a one or two-dimensional piece of paper, it's just not the same as walking through it. So adapting technology is sometimes a hard thing with construction because there are tried and true methods that are universal and they work for centuries. So it has to come in slowly. Technology has to come slowly. It has to be, you have to see a huge improvement or an incremental improvement for your clients or for the sake of the construction itself. And I think that takes a little bit of time.